Hi guys, Jamie Fluke here for Apex Racing Academy. This is the Hockenheim track guide for the Mercedes-AMG GT4 this week, which is week 8 of the Vulcan Tire Sports Car Challenge. As well as these track guides, we're also giving away the Mercedes-AMG GT4 data pack for free this season, and that features your setup, so that's qualifying and race setup, your reference lap files, which is B lap and O lap files, replay files, and access to our Discord server, which gives you access then to the group coaching sessions on a Tuesday evening. All you need to do is go to apexracingac.com. There's a link in the description. Put in your email in order to get the data pack for free. In terms of the track this week, Hockenheim is a pretty good circuit for the Mercedes. It might lack a little bit of grunt down into the hairpin, but through turn 1 it's really stable, and through the stadium section it's quite nice as well. So let's get stuck into the hot lap. Just another reminder, guys, that you can get this season's Mercedes-AMG GT4 data pack for free over at apexracingac.com or by following the link in the description below. Okay, so into the tutorial then. Turn 1, very difficult to get right. I rev it out in 4th gear and try to find a reference between the 100 and the 50 that works. There's a patch of grass here that's a little bit darker, and that works really nicely for me as a reference. So just onto the brakes, fully on the curb on the way in. Nice and gentle, sort of backing the corner up and then turning in with as little brake pressure as possible applied, and trying to get the left front as tight to the orange anti-cut curb as possible without touching it. That's pretty much the limit in terms of track limits, and the Mercedes can absolutely launch it over the anti-cut curb as is. So from here, aggressive with the throttle, and the rest tends to take care of itself. The front can wash out a little bit, so if you need a little bit of modulation with the throttle, then that's absolutely fine. On exit, the track limits are a combination of 3 things. As long as all 4 don't go over the same, the midpoint of the car doesn't go beyond the edge of the curbing, or the left side wheels don't go beyond the green paint, then you should be good to go. It'll look a little something like this. From here, then down in towards turn 2. Braking just after the 150 board. Again, nothing super concrete that works nicely as a guide here, so just got to sort of wing it a little bit in between the 2. Down into 3rd and then 2nd gear. Trying to carry plenty of speed through the apex here. So an early turn in, bleeding off the brake, and then positive with our throttle pickup as well. As soon as we get north of 45 degrees of steering angle, we can crunch the throttle and run the car nice and wide. I do find that this sort of approach is a little bit quicker then, in terms of getting then through turn 3 and 4, than keeping it tight and then really focusing on the exit. Just carrying that mid-corner speed is really important. Down towards the hairpin, so through the parabolica, just keeping it nice and tight to the left-hand side, grabbing a little bit of the inside curb as well. And we're just going to rev the car out in 5th, and we need to grab 6th. and spot the reference into the hairpin. So looking at the 150 board and braking just slightly before or right on it. It sort of depends a little bit on the state of the tyres and how long into the stint you've been. The further you go into a stint, the more you'll need to actually pull this back a little bit. The braking performance will reduce as the pressures come up. So strong threshold braking, braking in a nice straight line, down to third, second, and then first gear, bleeding off as we turn in, trying to pick up the inside white line. Very traditional sort of tight hairpin kind of corner here. Just ease the car in towards the inside curb, and then once there, open up the steering, feed the rest of the throttle through, and then tracking out using everything that we've got on the way out. You've just got to stay nice and disciplined with the throttle application in first gear on that initial pickup, because of how low the speed is and the fact that we're still trying to rotate the car. The pressure there sort of in around the 50 to 60% range, and then making sure that we've got most of our rotation done before we then feed the rest of the throttle in. So from here up through the gears, turn 7 is going to be easy flat out. Just keep the car nice and tight on the way through. Don't open up the angle, because we need to bring the car over to the right hand side, braking for turn 8. Using the outside curb here as a reference, I'm trying to brake basically in the middle of it. There's no very clear set point that I brake at, but I basically split the difference between the start and end of the curb and brake at that point. Try and get the car straightened out on the brakes to the best of your ability. Down into second gear, and a nice early turn in again, just to mitigate the fact that the front end will try and push a little bit here. It's just a fraction wide here, but no major harm done. I was able to still then carry the speed, so it was all good here. On exit, we don't want to go super wide here, because we need to bring the car hard over to the left-hand side to set up what is then turn 10. So get the car settled, up into third gear using the outside curb, but not too much of it. It's quite easy to sort of drop off the curb and then run out of the ability to actually turn the car into the corner, and we need to stay stable on the approach through here. So turning in, so it's flat initially and then just bleeding out of the throttle. Pick up the blue and white curb on the inside, but no more than that. It's a bit bouncy and bumpy through, and if you try and cut through the inside here. So just take it nice and steady with the throttle application and let the car pivot round. On exit, just lean into the anti-cut curb. Going any wider than this will force the car to sort of bottom out ever so slightly, and you'll kill your run down in towards the final sector. So up into fourth gear and into the stadium. It becomes quite difficult actually just to get the braking right. So where the wall straightens out, it sort of tapers over to the left hand side beforehand, but once it's parallel with the white line, we want to brake just ever so slightly after that point. And again, not too high on the peak pressure. Down into third. It's important just to get the line spot on here, and an early throttle pickup to generate the rotation, carry our speed through the corner, and make the exit just that much easier. So left side wheels on the white line, and the right side wheels then obviously as far over as we can get them. The car will then drive really nicely off of the left rear. So it can get a little bit slippery. Just getting back to full throttle there just as the curbing ends on the right hand side. And from here the exit takes care of itself. Just making sure not to run too wide and catching the gravel, but track limits are quite generous here, so we can run pretty wide through here. We need to stay disciplined though, bring the car hard over to the right hand side for turn 12, and then early onto the brakes here, just with the nature of the setup of the car, to make it work for the entire rest of the lap. It means that this corner is a little bit floaty on the brakes on the way in. So just nice and gentle down to the third and then second gear, turning in nice and early and wrapping the white line on the inside. Patience then with the throttle pickup as well. We don't need to be super aggressive here. So a snap there to sort of 80, 85%, and then just holding that to make sure that the car is stable before committing to the exit, and not running super wide here either. If we run too wide here, then we can't take the line that we want through turn 13. And that line is cutting through the paint on the inside, getting as close to the grass as possible, which then opens up the angle for the final two corners. So as we come past the curbing here on the right hand side, sort of split the difference between there and the outside curb and braking in this sort of general area here. gentle onto the brake, out towards the white line, and then tuck the nose back in third gear. You could grab second if you wish, but third seems pretty stable for me. And then once onto the apex, pick up the throttle on the way through. If you're extra daring, you can run wide with the left side wheels beyond the red curbing here, but I kept it nice and tight on this particular lap just for consistency's sake. Through the final corner, so it's just a full left, and then slowly reintroduce the throttle, and then pick up the paint on the inside. As you then slide into the edge of the curbing here, the car will sort of hook around ever so slightly, and that then helps generate the rotation that we need on exit, and then we can track out using all of the paint, and as long as the right side wheels are touching the curb, then we're good to go. From here, short run to the line, and that's a lap of Hockenheim in the Mercedes-AMG GT4. Thanks for watching. Make sure to go over to apexracingac.com for your free Mercedes GT4 data pack for the rest of the season. For further questions and info, join our Discord server, which you can access with your subscription. We also host a group coaching session on a Tuesday evening. Make sure to check the details in the Mercedes-AMG GT4 car channel once you've signed up. That's all from me this week. See you in the next one.